June 2nd, 2018, was supposed to be just another Saturday morning for Daniel Brophy, a cherished culinary instructor at the Oregon Culinary Institute in Portland. But that morning, as he prepared for the day's lessons, an unimaginable tragedy struck. An emergency call brought police rushing to the scene, where they found Daniel lying lifeless on the floor, his body riddled with bullets. His wife, Nancy Crampton Brophy, a romance novelist, arrived shortly after, devastated at the loss of her husband. Yet as the layers of this tragic tale began to peel back, what emerged was a story so twisted it could only be true. The crime scene was a gruesome tableau. Daniel lay in a pool of blood, the once vibrant kitchen now eerily silent. 2 shell casings were found near his body, indicating a close-range execution. The methodical nature of the crime suggested premeditation. There were no signs of a break-in, no struggle, only the cold, calculated hand of someone Daniel trusted enough to let close. Detectives combed through the house looking for clues. They found Daniel's wallet and phone, untouched, ruling out robbery as a motive. But one glaring piece was missing: the murder weapon. As they delved deeper, a picture began to form, one that pointed increasingly towards Nancy. Nancy Crampton Brophy was not just any romance writer. She often explored dark themes, weaving tales of love and betrayal, of passion turning deadly. Her most chilling work was an essay titled "How to Murder Your Husband," penned years before. In it, she detailed various ways one might kill their spouse and get away with it. To Nancy's readers, it was fiction. To the police, it was a blueprint. Nancy and Daniel met through mutual friends, their love story one of shared passions and dreams. Daniel was a charismatic chef, loved by his students for his enthusiasm and skill. Nancy, with her vivid imagination, found in Daniel the inspiration for many of her characters. But beneath the surface, their marriage was strained. Financial troubles loomed large, and Nancy's frustration grew as their dreams of a comfortable life seemed to slip further away. In the months leading up to the murder, Nancy's behavior grew increasingly suspicious. She began purchasing items that would later prove to be damning evidence. Surveillance cameras captured her buying a Glock 17 handgun and various gun parts. She signed up for shooting lessons at a local range, claiming it was for a new book she was researching. But her internet history told a different story, filled with searches about ghost guns, firearms assembled from kits without serial numbers, making them untraceable. On the fateful morning of June 2nd, Nancy left their home unusually early. She claimed she had errands to run, but surveillance footage placed her near the Oregon Culinary Institute around the time of the murder. This damning evidence, combined with her inconsistent statements, painted a picture of premeditation. Nancy was arrested in September 2018, 3 months after the murder. The prosecution built a case that seemed to come straight out of one of Nancy's novels. They argued that Nancy's financial desperation, coupled with the substantial life insurance policies on Daniel, provided a clear motive. Nancy stood to gain nearly $1.5 million upon her husband's death. In court, the prosecution presented a meticulous timeline, supported by video footage, financial records, and expert testimonies. Forensic experts detailed how the bullets' trajectories indicated a close-range shooting, emphasizing the personal nature of the crime. They also highlighted Nancy's research into untraceable firearms, framing it as preparation for the murder. The defense countered that the evidence was circumstantial. They argued that Nancy's internet searches and the infamous essay were merely part of her creative process as a writer. Character witnesses testified to Nancy's loving relationship with her husband, portraying her as a devoted wife who couldn't possibly commit such a heinous act. The trial, which began in April 2022, captivated the nation. It was a courtroom drama filled with twists and turns, akin to the plots of Nancy's novels. Prosecutors presented a damning narrative: a financially desperate woman who meticulously planned her husband's murder, believing she could execute the perfect crime. Defense attorneys worked to dismantle this narrative, pointing out the lack of physical evidence directly tying Nancy to the murder. They highlighted the absence of the murder weapon and argued that the prosecution's case relied too heavily on circumstantial evidence and the provocative essay. Forensic evidence played a critical role. Experts testified about the close-range shots, suggesting an intimate, personal attack. The ghost gun kit became a focal point, illustrating Nancy's attempt to cover her tracks. Witness testimonies and character statements added depth, painting a picture of a woman whose fictional worlds might have influenced her reality. On May 25th, 2022, after weeks of intense deliberation, the jury found Nancy Crampton Brophy guilty of second-degree murder. The courtroom was filled with a heavy silence as the verdict was read. Nancy's face remained stoic, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of fear. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. This case served as a stark reminder of the blurred lines between fiction and reality. Nancy's tale was one of ambition turned to desperation, of love twisted into a deadly plot. It highlighted the complexities of human relationships and the dark corners of the human psyche. If you found this case as fascinating and chilling as we did, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into real-life crime stories. Check out our playlist on other intriguing cases, and don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts on Nancy Crampton Brophy's conviction. Did justice prevail, or is there more to the story? Let us know.